Women crave a man who doesn't want them back. And what this basically means is basically, as a man, how you assume that what you assume that women like, they don't like. See, here's the big problem with a lot of us dudes, right? A lot of dudes have a way that they want women to be as a whole, right? They have this idea of how a woman should be. They think that a woman should want romance, want love, want affection, blah, 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 blah. Should be grateful that they're nice to them, blah, 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 blah. Should respect them more because, oh, I'm a man who has a car, my own spot, I make hella money, I got two jobs, blah, blah, blah. That's how a lot of dudes' brains work. But what a lot of dudes have to understand is what you want a woman to like and what a woman actually likes is two different things. And it's been proven countless times over history, throughout history. It's been proven multiple times that a lot of the time women want something that they can't, that they want something that is strong, powerful, masculine. They want someone who has a backbone. They want someone who speaks up for himself and who can kind of control the room. That's something I've noticed too. If you're a dude who can control the room, nine times out of 10, and you could do it with like being polite, nine times out of 10, women are going to respect you more because you're a dude who can control pretty much all the energy in the room. Because a man is a creator, okay? You're supposed to create creation. That's how it is. You create energy in the room. Women already have energy and people come to the energy. So let me see, what's a good way of looking at it? It's basically like you're building a building and a woman already has a building built. And basically what happens is over time, her building gets broken down. And over time, your building keeps getting higher and higher because as a man, you're constantly putting more and more attributes onto yourself to make yourself more appealing. You get what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. Meaning you're supposed to be able to control the room. You're supposed to be able to have dominance. You're supposed to be able to have a backbone. You're supposed to be able to speak up for yourself. You're supposed to not really give a fuck, but give a fuck at the same time. It's being consistently inconsistent because you're supposed to give a fuck about things that matter, like your bills, how you live, how your jobs. You're supposed to care about stuff like that. But trivial, dumb shit, you're not supposed to care about. Like meaningless arguments, you don't give a fuck about. And you're supposed to always keep it 100 with pretty much everybody as best as you can. And that's some manly shit because it's hard to do that all the time. It's hard to be in your masculine and tell both men and women like what you need to tell them so they don't sit there and try to bully you and disrespect you. It takes a very masculine man to do that because the outcomes can be crazy. You don't know the other person that you're dealing with, you don't know what type of person they are. They might try to fight you, you know what I'm saying? They might try to you know, make you lose your job. They might try to kill you. I mean, you don't know the outcome of a lot of stuff. A woman might want to try to get revenge because you made her mad, because you told her like it is. You know, stuff like that happens. So a lot of time people are scared of the outcome of situations. That's why a lot of time people will just be quiet and they'll be, what's the word I'm looking for? They'll be, what's the word I'm looking for, bro? They'll kind of zone it out. They'll kind of ignore it, or they'll be one of those types who feels the emotions but don't say nothing. I can't. What is the word I'm looking for? I can't remember what the word is, but basically they'll just try to ignore their problems all the time. You know what I'm saying? But it's like ignoring your problems all the time doesn't work. Just being silent and letting people walk over you doesn't work because you let them do it too long, they keep bringing their power up and bring yours low. I'm going to keep using the building example. It's like you build upon power. You know, so your building might be right here because you let people just do whatever they want and they're constantly building a building over you of power. So it's like once their building is so high in the sky, you trying to break their building down and knock it down to where they respect you is going to be hard to do, is the best way to basically explain that, right? So the thing is, women usually have a high building. Their building is high, and they're so used to men coming up to them and building their building for them, like an Egyptian queen. And as a man, it's different. It's the opposite. You have to build the building yourself. Women People build the building for them, and they already have the building built. That's how you look at it in dating. So it's like, as a man, you're constantly trying to find all the resources and do all this stuff to build yourself up. While it's like she already got the resources. She could use OnlyFans. She could use all the thirsty dudes at the job. Because I've seen that at jobs, bro. Like, women will just use the dudes to do all the work for them. I've seen that shit. Or women pretending to be nice to them, kind to them, pretending like they like him, have a crush on him, and hugging them and grabbing on them and stuff. So they'll actually listen to the woman. Like, there are managers who do that at jobs. There are some women that are forceful, meaning they act masculine and they try to control everything. There's ones like that. But it is what it is. And you're constantly going to deal with this power struggle thing. This is what I always explain, because it's all a power struggle, mostly, is what it is. Women are always going to try to test your gangster. They're going to always try to go against what you have going on. And all you can do is keep building your own foundation for your building to make it grow. Whether that's with your business, whether that's going out and talking to women. Because the number one thing is that, you know how hard it is to really be a man and go and talk to women? That shit's harder than a woman just waiting for a man to come up to her and talk to her. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it takes so much more effort to put clothes on, dress really, really nice, go talk to a bunch of women, get rejected. It makes your foundation stronger, though, after you do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of dudes got to understand. You have to grow your foundation, make it better, and it will harden you up. It'll give you backbone. It'll make your mind sharper. It'll make your skills sharper, because it's honestly a sport. It's a video game. It's a sport. Dating is a game that you have to learn. And once you learn the game and you understand, you get way better at it. Like, for example, you already know women are going to flake on you. We already know. And here's the thing. Men usually already have the tools mentally. They just don't want to accept the hand that they are dealt. That's the only thing. And they don't want to have to use the tools to grow. That's how a lot of men are. But you already pretty much have the tools. You already know that women don't like romantic niggas. If you do super romantic shit, women are usually not going to talk to you. Being overly nice, they're not going to talk to you. If you're just constantly quiet all the time and don't say nothing, you will never pull her. You already know it's a bad idea to try to talk to women at your job. You already know that you got to dress nice and smell good and go and talk to a bunch of women. You're going to get rejected by a lot of women, but eventually you're going to pull a baddie if you actually have the confidence to go out and talk to them. You already know all of this shit. The thing is, a lot of the time with the videos is a lot of men want sympathy, but you shouldn't want sympathy. You should want strength to keep going through the stresses and trials and tribulations that you have to go through throughout your life, because they never change. And you're going to keep going through the same type of trials and tribulations over and over again, because that's how life is. Life constantly repeats itself. Life is a wheel. It just constantly does stuff over and over again. You just constantly deal with the cycle. That's the cycle of life, is dealing with the same problems over and over again, until you finally figure the shit out. And then boom, you get it. Same thing will work and everything. But like, comment, subscribe, follow your boy. Peace and blessings.